The weak revel in their aggression. The strong in their gentleness. Be more hard and less attack.
Good evening and a warm welcome to Big Budget Business, where we discuss pertinent issues that we face as young business people and highlight the lives of prolific young entrepreneurs making strides in their respective fields. Today we're speaking to the founder of Talita Kumi Consulting, Pako Moshaga. Pako, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Jimmy.
It's a pleasure having you, man. I want us to get into, firstly, Pako, the individual. Tell us a bit about yourself, a brief background.
All right, where to start? So, firstly, I'm a Christian.
Wow.
That's a major part of my life.
I like that.
It guides my values, my ethics, my life plan. Everything about me is largely around being a Christian. Secondly, I was born in Kanye, grew up in Gebs. I'm a city boy. So then beyond that, really, I grew up in town, like I said. So I lived a typical life, grew up in the city, did all the usual city things. So I'd say I'm a Motswana through and through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. A great introduction. Let me remind the viewers at home that our show is actually live and you can share your comments and questions with us. And as the show progresses, we will share a number with you so that you can call in and ask us anything that you'd like. Ask Pako here anything that you'd like him to answer you with. So let's engage. Now that we've spoken about Pako, the individual, get us into Pako, the businessman. How did you get into the whole business aspect? How did it start?
Okay, so I think firstly, I was raised in a business household. My dad's a consultant, so all my life I've known about business. I've learned about business. I've seen business. I've observed it firsthand.
Absolutely.
So beyond that, I have a passion for helping people, teaching people, and helping them to transform themselves. So I thought, why not take this passion and turn it into a business? And so I took what I knew basically from my childhood. I took my passion, had to learn, of course, and follow other business people locally,
Yes.
regionally, and internationally as well. And I took all of that together and I formed this company. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's quite interesting. What I'm getting from you there is the importance of sort of benchmarking when we get into business, looking at people who are basically along the lines of what we like to do, and then picking up a little bit, a few lessons here and there from them.
100%. Because just to add on to that,
Yeah.
so something that I did a lot of actually was to watch a show called Shark Tank.
Okay.
So it helped me to understand how to pitch a business idea, how to build a business model,
Yes.
and the need to understand your company in and out.
In and out.
So it's a lot of observation, a lot of studying. I did finance, and so that really helped me in forming a company and knowing how to run a company successfully.
Wow, that's great. So what I picked up from that was basically the research aspect and trying to see how you can find as much information about your company and knowing exactly what it is that you're in.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's great. Now, tell us about Talita Kumi Consulting, the business and its services.
Yeah. Okay. So firstly, the name is a Hebrew name. It's from the Bible. It's from Mark 5:41. It's what Jesus said when he raised Jairus' daughter from the dead.
Wow.
Yeah. So it basically means arise or wake up, loosely translated anyway. So the business is a personal branding consultancy business. So what we do there, we provide key note addresses, talks at events. We also provide workshops on personal branding, as well as a brand development program for individuals, business people, MDs, CEOs, and the like. Then also getting into the new year, we'll be providing services around public speaking coaching. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's what we do.
Wow, that's wonderful. I think something that I picked up from there is, the essence or the importance of when we get into naming our businesses. There's actually a spiritual aspect to it.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily just about, okay, my business will be Do Me Donuts,
yeah,
ABC. It has to be something with meaning so that it can speak to you and perhaps drive your vision.
100%.
And what you said is basically it means arise.
Yeah,
And when you spoke, you also said that you had a passion for igniting the fires within people.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So I think we see how important it is for us to really think some of these things through in terms of like naming our businesses, as this can shape a lot of where, excuse me, of where our businesses are going. Now, let me remind you once again that we are live and we're speaking to Pako Moshaga, the founder of Talita Kumi Consulting, who is a personal branding expert. And we'll be talking a bit more about the importance of personal branding. So if you would like to engage with us, ensure that you share your comments or your questions. We are going live. And the number that you can use to call in is +267 7305 9578. I repeat, +267 7305 9578. Call in and let's engage. All right. So you've spoken a bit about what Talita Kumi does as a business. Now, tell me, as an individual out here in these streets, what exactly is personal branding and why is it important? Number one, for me as an individual, and number two, for me as a young business person.
All right. So, personal branding, I like to put it like this:
Okay.
it's marketing, except that you are marketing you as an individual,
Okay.
as a person,
Okay.
because all of us have a brand. So, a brand is essentially how people see you, is what people think of you.
Okay.
So, personal branding is all about how to manage the perception that um, the world has of you, because we all want to be seen in a positive light,
Of
in a
course.
good light.
Certainly.
So it's about how to manage your image online, offline, how to manage your character, mannerisms, and your speech. All in all, those form what people think of you and how they define you and how they refer to you. So the importance of a brand is that you build a positive reputation, which you are in control of. People see you the way that you want them to see you. They think of you the way that you want them to think of you. As an example, my brand is that of being a public speaker.
Yes.
So it's in that way because I want it to be in that manner. So I um I intentionally set out to profile and to and to and to I'd say to market myself in a sense as
Yes.
a public speaker. So people think of me and they think of a speaker.
Yes.
Yes. So the importance is that you build a positive image of yourself, and that image draws opportunities in line with your talents and your image.
Wow. What I picked up there is this is an issue basically of perception. What I'd like people to see me as when they hear big budget, what comes to their mind?
Yeah.
Hopefully business. But anyway, I'm just saying that, okay, this is something that you work on. You decide this is what I want to be known for, and therefore this is what you project out there.
100%. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. No, that's very interesting. Um, I feel like I should ask you now because we've gotten into the whole naming of your business, and you did mention before anything else that you're a Christian.
Yeah.
So tell me, what drives you at a personal level? What would you say is your why?
I'd say my why is growth. I
Growth.
love to see growth and transformation
Okay.
in people. Those around me know that I'm always talking about ways to improve themselves in their skills, in their fitness, in their image, everything. I just love to see people grow and improve and become happier and content with who they are as a person, and also for them to discover their talents and their skills, because that's I'd say for the better part of my life, I never knew what talents I had what skills I had. It's only about just over 2 years ago that I discovered that I'm a natural at public speaking.
Would you care to share how you made that discovery?
All right, so it's a funny story. Um, so just over 2 years ago, I was invited to give a talk because I'm also a writer. So someone saw my articles in the papers and said, you know what, you can write. So come speak about what you write on. So at first I said, you know what, I'm a shy guy. It's not really for me. I've never tried this thing out. It looks so intense. You know what, I might embarrass myself. But then I said, okay, not sharp. I'll come do it. So I prepared firstly. I studied TED Talks. Okay,
Okay.
what makes TED Talks so good?
Okay.
What makes them so amazing? So I learned. I gained a bit of confidence, but it was my first ever talk. So I went in, and to my surprise, it went really well. I was shocked. It went really well. So that's the day that I discovered that I can do public speaking well. Just that I had never ever tried it out before,
Wow.
because I figured I'd be better at it anyway. Well, one.
And you'd already concluded that about
Hey, and
yourself.
I'd concluded it. So fortunately, this host um persisted. He's like, boss, please come and talk. Please come and
Yes.
talk at my event. It's just a short event.
Yes.
It's a small gig. It's
Nothing
maybe, yeah, 30 people at most. So yeah, so I gave in, and ultimately that's how I got into the line of work that I'm in today.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So it's important for us to try things that we haven't discovered yet. I mean, just
Yeah.
you don't know what it might do for you to throw yourself into the deep end. I mean, look at what you've become just off of that one decision that you made. And you said this is just about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. That's amazing. No, thanks a lot for that. So once again, in speaking about your why, I see that you're a lot about upliftment of others. And I think this ties into the fact that it's possible for one to get into business and also be making a positive impact in people's lives. That is very important. Let me remind you once again, we are live and we're talking to Pako Moshaga, the founder of Talita Kumi Consulting, who is also a personal branding expert. So if you are somebody who'd like to get yourself, your personal or your business brand out there, let's engage. Share with us your comments, your questions, and let's see how we can work together towards each other's success. The number that you can call into if you would like to call is +267 7305 9578. I repeat, +267 7305 9578. Personal branding. Right. So tell us, what kind of work are you involved in outside of Talita Kumi Consulting?
So I do a bit of I say community work.
Okay.
I speak a lot at churches.
Oh,
I speak to NGOs. I speak to schools, especially to the youth. So I'd say it's something that I do because, like you said, I like helping people.
of course.
I like guiding people, and so it's an opportunity for me to talk to the youth because I wish that I had someone like me when I was younger, because then I'd say I would have tried things out more at a younger age
Yes.
rather than wait till this time to try new opportunities.
Wow.
I also do a bit of mentorship as well.
Okay.
I'd say selectively because of time issues, of course.
Mhm.
So again, it's focused on the youth, especially those that are in varsity or
Yes.
have just finished varsity.
Okay. And I think we tend not to ask people who are mentors what their experience has been in mentoring people. Would you say it's been something fulfilling for you?
That's a great question, actually, because I shared a post on LinkedIn on that a few months ago. That I've had people come to me and say they want mentorship. That's fine. That's all good. We have a first session, then they never come back. They never give any feedback, whether there's a challenge or it's not for them or anything. So I'd say on that point, people need to appreciate what mentorship is about. There's a mentor, there's a life coach,
Okay.
there's a consultant. So you need to understand what exactly are you looking for. Guidance in life, guidance in your career, or whatever it is, and understand the work and the dedication behind being a mentee.
Yes, yes.
So beyond those issues, I'd say it's really fulfilling. I've had mentees that have really grown so much that I feel currently they don't even need me really in their lives because they've learned enough on their own and they're capable to I say to do things on their own now.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
remarkable. So no, it's always interesting because we, a lot of us will say, okay, I want a mentor and I need a mentor. I need someone who can help me, but really we don't know what it is that we want from them. So at the end of the day, we might get out of this mentee mentor relationship a bit unhappy, and yet as people who sought mentors, we actually didn't know what our story was from the start. All right. Once again, feel free to share your comments and questions with us. We're with Pako Moshaga, who is the founder of Talita Kumi Consulting. So engage with us. Let's hear what you have to say too. Um, how do you think? Actually, before I get into that, what would you say has been your biggest challenge in business thus far?
I'd say my biggest challenge has been finding a functioning business model. I
Okay.
think for the first year of business, all that I did was just give talks, So when COVID hit earlier this year, that meant an end to
Events.
events. Yes.
Yes.
So suddenly now I had to provide more services, and so that meant doing consultation and really having to think outside the box around what can I do other than just giving talks.
Mhm.
So I'd say I figured that out, but for the longest time I was just in circles really
Okay.
around how do I adapt to this new normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So once again, I think for someone who might not have picked up, how exactly did you overcome this challenge once again of not having events but still being able to push your business model?
I'd say I had to brainstorm. I just had to
Yes.
think outside the box.
Yes.
And I also had to do research online to see what are people in my line of work in the US doing.
Yes.
What
Yes.
services do they offer in the UK, in Europe? What do international branding consultants do under their companies? And I learned something from that to see okay, so this is what other people are doing with the same skills that I have, and
Mhm.
from that then I'd say I changed it to the context of
Yes. Of those
our
companies.
landscape. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's great. No, thanks a lot for that. So it's important, since we are now a global village, to see what people elsewhere are doing in terms of businesses that are similar to ours,
Yeah.
because we can always learn lessons from that. We have a comment here from Joey Mutivi. Oh, wow. Thanks, man. He's always commenting. So at least we
Oh,
have a very loyal viewer here.
awesome stuff.
Joey Mutivi, he says, "Good evening to you, Big Budget, and your guest, the ever so humble and super smart Pako Moshaga. We went to high school together with that gentleman. Re dirile the pure science more." Huh? Anyway, this is what he says. Anyway, firstly, kudos to the hard work and the game changer to the art of personal branding.
Wow.
You've
Wow.
got quite a fan
Wow.
there. And he says, a lot of us are brands, but are failing to realize our potential growth. We heavily rely on the work we put in and hope that the work grows our personal brands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this is a situation that you might have sometime found yourself in. And then he says,
Yeah.
please give people like myself and others who are existing brands but need to elevate to world class. Any advice for Joey then?
All right. I think thanks for that, Joey. So I'd say you need to benchmark. As a brand, what I do, like I just said, I I base my I'd say my work on international consultants
Okay.
to see how are they succeeding, what are they doing different,
Mhm.
and that forces me to do things differently. Like a few examples that I've seen: picture quality.
Mhm.
They take picture quality very seriously. So anything that they upload online is
Yes.
of a high standard.
Yes.
And also um, in their posts,
Mhm. Mhm.
social media can be really good.
Yes.
It can be really damaging as well. So they take care to manage their brands in a positive way, such that anything they put out is positive. And then another thing again is to I'd say is to communicate the value that you offer. You know, the value that you offer needs to be very clear. Is it speaking? Is it emceeing? Is it being a host? You know, because you can't try and brand yourself as everything. You know, as much as you may be able to do all of those things, but you want to be known for at most two things that you do exceptionally well, such that when someone thinks of Joey, they think of an MC or a host. You know, so what you have to do is that on your page, you have to brand yourself according to what you do exceptionally well. On my page is mostly pictures of me giving a talk. So people know me as a speaker. So when they want speaking services, they think of me because my brand is all about speaking. So you need to so your brand needs to be very specific around what you offer and what you do exceptionally well, so that you get opportunities in line with that. Because if you seem to be all over the place, then people think, yeah, I've seen him doing MC stuff. Yeah, man, I think he's a host, but you know, so people, they can see that you're doing something, but you're doing a lot of things, so they don't really know, you know, what you are good at and what they can call you for. So you need to be specific around your branding.
Wow, thanks once again, Joey, for that question. I think what I picked up there was let's try not to be a jack of all trades and master of none.
Yeah.
You said at most two things that we want to be known distinctively for.
Yeah.
That's what we need to pick. And then also try and see what international consultants within the lines of what we are doing are doing.
Yeah.
Pushing. All right. No, that's wonderful. Once again, we're live. Share your comments and questions. Call in if you'd like. We have another question here from Trade With Me. And Trade With Me says, good evening, Big Budget Business. This is an interesting conversation. Would the guest please make a distinction for me between branding and marketing, and which is better for a growing business and for a person in the early stage of their career?
Okay. So marketing is purely when talking to products, you know, to your cars and your phones and whatever it is that you sell.
Yes.
Branding, there's personal branding, which is what I do.
Yes.
And there's corporate branding, which forms part of marketing.
Okay.
So in the early stages of your career, right?
Yes,
career, you need to brand yourself as a person. And you do this through interactions. So the elements of a brand, the first thing is image, presentation. People look and they judge. So you need to present yourself in a good light each time. This is in meetings, you know, in how you dress for work, how you present yourself online as well. The pictures that you put up of yourself, whether it's on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on Instagram, because these days employers and potential employers as well, they go on social media to see what candidates or even employees are posting. So then another element of your brand is your character, mannerisms, being on time for work, being kind to others in the workplace, not being arrogant in the workplace, your work being on time, your work being free of typos and mistakes. So that talks to your character and your behavior. Then a third element of your brand is your speech. How you talk about yourself and how you talk about others as well forms part of your brand, because people think of someone as arrogant because of how they talk about others and how they talk about themselves. Wow. So the way that you engage others in the office talks to what people think of you in the workplace. Because a great, I'd say, a great quote that summarizes what a brand is. It says, a personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So everything that people say about you is based on what they see on you, or what they see you do, and what they see, and what they hear you say as well. So those things form your brand in the workplace.
Wow.
Yeah.
A very insightful question there. I mean, answer there. And thank you for that thought provoking question. So, I gather reputation is a very important aspect. We need to ensure that what people see about us and how you also touched on how we relate to others
Yeah.
as being important for our personal brands,
Yeah.
because a personal brand is what people say about me when I'm not in the room.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. So I think in terms of comments and questions, we are fine for now. However, how can we access the services of Talita Kumi Consulting?
All right. So on Facebook, it's under my name, Pako Moshaga.
Yes.
So you access them through my personal profile on Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn as well as on Instagram as Pako Moshaga on all forums.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's how we can reach you.
Yeah. And also on WhatsApp,
Yes.
I'm on +267 75 431 782. That's +267 75 431 782.
Wow. Thank you so much, Paco. Let me thank you for your time. That's what we had to discuss today. I think I've personally gotten a lot of insight and some lessons that I'm going to carry going forward with respect to personal branding.
Awesome.
Can I ask you just one more question?
Of course.
What is the last book that you read?
The last book that I read, I'd say, is the current book that I'm reading.
Okay.
It's Black Box Thinking by Matthew Syed. That's SYED.
Yes.
It's a book that looks at failure, actually.
Wow.
It looks at how failure is looked at in different industries. It compares, well, in the first part of the book anyway, how failure is looked at in aviation
Okay.
versus in the medical field.
Okay.
So in aviation, they treat a plane crash
Yes.
as something tragic. Of course, it's sad and it's unfortunate, but they also treat it as an opportunity to learn how to improve future flights. So they share information on each crash with all the pilots nationally and all the airlines internationally, so that everyone can learn what not to do in future. And then it talks about how in the medical field, in the countries that they looked at anyway, is that failure is shunned upon and is something to be hidden and to be brushed off, and that doesn't allow other doctors and other health practitioners to learn from the failure of other doctors. Yeah, it's a really really great book.
It's really about perspective.
Yeah,
and
100%.
sharing the lessons that we learn.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's great. No, let me thank you once again for your time. This has been a wonderful show. Thanks for being here.
It's been my pleasure, Jimmy. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Most welcome. So before we get into our 2-minute tip, let's go for a quick commercial. We'll be right back.
ZebraNet Fiber to the Home offers high dedicated speeds ranging from 5 megabytes per second to 100 megabytes per second. Why stay up at night to get better speed? Subscribe to our FTTH packages, offering each member of the family the flexibility to simultaneously surf, stream, and download all at the same time. Where there is internet, there is ZebraNet.
Right. So briefly, our 2-minute tip for today. Let's talk a bit about mentorship and why it's important. As young people in business, we tend to face stumbling blocks and challenges along the journey. So it's important for us to identify mentors who might help us through such situations. And 3 basic advantages of doing this. Number 1, accountability. A mentor is someone who can get you out of your comfort zone and help you to stay on track towards your goals, because when you have a mentor, you are now answerable or accountable to them. Number 2, you get a broader perspective. Remember that a mentor is someone who has experience in the field that you would like to get into. And as they always say, a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And then number 3, of course, reality checks. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle, profits and losses of business, and then we lose perspective. And so you need a mentor who can basically bring you down to earth and help you stay on track towards reaching your goals. So once again, our 3 basic advantages of mentorship. Number 1, a broader perspective. Number 2, accountability. And number 3, reality checks. It's been a wonderful show. From me, Big Budget, and the team, it's good night and God bless. And always remember that you were born for so much more.
Greetings, I'm Hope, and I'm here to do something I've called myself stupid for a lot in the past week, and it's a tribute by me to Tani Poppy. She's my grandmother's sister right now. She's battling breast cancer, and I'm gonna get rid of all of this. Yeah. I, Hope Matthys, sacrifice my hair, a symbol of health and beauty for the women and men, but mostly women, who have taken a loss of theirs to breast cancer. Given no choice, their bodies through treatment surrender what I have a luxury of. The evidence of femininity we flaunt, they lose without fault and fight for eyes that see a chest clear of flaw, while balancing a pivot between life and death in the midst of deteriorating health. Ate and fed by radiation, creating societal alienation to the definition of woman. Beyond body image, its self-esteem she pleased to redeem through purity in mind, soul, and bloodstream. The reality of cancer is an eye saw in the mirror and a nauseating daydream initiated by pills and laser beams. My breasts are sexualized. She lost the best of her sexuality to the inhumane audacity of nature. Feminine profanity, for we're both objectified by society. The minor minority that but pleads for life and ability to nourish it without planting genes destined to perish. She embodies rebellion, defying the borders of definition designed to oppress her temple when she no longer resembles their narrow, non-empathetic perspective of woman, a loss, a near death, and sought for health without choice. Here are my respects in voice, so we may rejoice your beauty and being heroines against the odds.